bow, 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 la, bow, bow, la, bow. All we do is bow, bow, la, bow, 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 la, bow, la, bow, la. Me and my hitters go all out, bow, la, bow, la. We about to take 'em all out, bow, la, bow, la. Me and my hitters go all out, me and my hitters go all out. We about to take 'em all out, bow, la, bow, la. Me and my hitters go all out, bow, la, bow, la. We about to take 'em all out, bow, la, bow, la. Me and my hitters go all out, me and my hitters go all out. We about to take 'em all out. Dropping by the mall out, come deliver mail on y'all route. Show them what it's all about. Just get called out, fall out, fall out. Me and my clique, we don't fall out. Me and my chick, we don't fall out. We minding our business, keep y'all out. Break up, get up quick, then we hit licks till it's all out. I hate my job, I'ma call out. Boss of myself, child out. I'm a recruiter, a high percentage shooters, gotta keep rifles and Rugers. Some people just trifling and losers. Watch for the jackets at night, they be cruising. I can put together. AR Kinston Yetta. My hitters be tougher than leather. Can't nobody do it better. Glock 9 with the FN. Step in with my best friends. Best friend Smith and West End. If you miss 6, still catch 10. Ball out, ball out. Stall out. Pulling up outside the y'all house. Empty till we all out. I got the juice and I'm crazy. If you not a killer, don't say. Hit squad ain't nothing to play with. Undertaker and a grave dig. Best man like Tay Diggs. When you in the paint, gotta play big. Hitters ignorant like cavemen. Went from good fella to made men. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Shout out, ball out, get called out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out, ball out. We about to take 'em all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take 'em all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out, ball out. We about to take 'em all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take 'em all out.
Friday morning live, Boss Cowboy Sports in the building. Get your cup of coffee on your way to work, starting your day. We right back at you again. Free agents, safeties, we got a whole lot more. Boss Cowboy, talk to the people.
Oh man, it's way too early for this, Douglas. Douglas already coming out the gates of it too early for disappointment. Oh, whoa. Oh no, it's never too early to talk Cowboys. So obviously we up early this morning. We just wanted to definitely get some content and do a better job than what we did the other day. But also we giving the morning a chance. We got all kind of people. Like I know right now Joe Turchino, I know you loving this, my man. Because he's out of Italy. So when he's watching us, it's usually 4 a.m. in the morning. So actually he's watching us today at a decent time. And then Jovan, he's looking at it and he said, man, what up? Yeah, what's up, Jovan? Another day for us to battle. But thank God we're not battling over our quarterback. So we want to kind of touch free agency and kind of get into the candidates again. And then we're going to be revealing more and more new candidates that also be a part of the Boss Cowboy Guide. But you got any thoughts, OC, before we kind of get started, man, with general thoughts?
No, I'm ready to get this thing cranked up, man. We got a lot of free agent options out there that could fit and solve the problems with the Cowboys in terms of the secondary. And listen, I'm just ready to get into it. We got some more film today. I know you guys loved that last night. And we just go crank it up, get your day started off right with the latest and greatest in Cowboy news.
Yeah, my boy Joe Trino said I can never get enough about Cowboys. Same feeling, man, I have about you. I really do. So let's get started, man, real quick. So looking at free agency, this is how it started, okay? So just take a good look. Dak wasn't signed, and just everything kind of looked everywhere. Now this is a current look of free agency, and you can see it's much different. So what's the first things, I guess, that you would take away from this, OC?
Well, what you see here is obviously the defensive line, right? You got 3 contracts on that defensive line. And then if you look at corner, You got 2 contracts there. And so that's where you got the most contracts that are done, which, you know, is positive in the sense that, I mean, these would be the 2 areas that you need to spend the most attention and detail on if you're the Cowboys and you're looking at righting the ship in terms of what happened last year. So that part is positive.
Yeah, and then Marcus asked a real good question. Bluff City, he asked, have you slept on your analysis of the new guys and changed your mind? A little bit, to be honest. Like we watched some film yesterday, and I think the OC and I got a better idea of what the Cowboys' intentions are, because obviously the first initial response, Bluff, was very underwhelming. But then as you watch the tape, you get an idea of what the Cowboys are trying to do. Because we looked at, for instance, Carlos Watkins yesterday, and the OC did a great job of breaking him down. But one of the things we concluded, Bluff, as we was watching it, we saw that basically the best thing about those guys is they basically hold up well on the doubles. Okay,
they hold the ground.
So when we look at it, and the OC did a great job of that. I hardly got a word in because he was just doing his thing. But when he doing a good job, why add to it? So he really broke those guys down from the interior standpoint, and basically we looking at it like the Jones is likely spent in DT some lunch pill guys is what the OC called them, basically to help our linebackers. So that's what I take away from it. And when I look at it from that standpoint, I don't feel as bad. You know, now they're not game changers. They're not, you know, and they're not rock stars. But could you say that are they helping Woods, and are they helping where we needed the most help? And I would say yes. But are they super sexy? Absolutely not. You got something on that, OC?
Yeah, no, I mean, to your point, I mean, these are, hey man, these are your lunch bell guys, man. These are your construction worker, hard hat guys, man. They're doing the dirty work. You know, the only thing that I hope is that they do need to add another defensive lineman. As I slept on this and thought about it this morning some more, they need to add an explosive guy that can truly beat people one-on-one. These guys hold up well one-on-one, and I mean, they're going to win some one-on-one matchups here and there, but maybe it's to free up the nose tackle. Maybe they're counting on Woods, right, to be able to beat the center one-on-one because these guys are getting double. Maybe they have some type of theory and thought about that, but right now they need a guy. They need one more guy, I think, a guy that's actually a playmaker on that defensive line. And I think that with everything else they're doing defensively with the 4-3, they'll pretty much be set. But they need a playmaker.
Yeah, and you know, when Bluff speak, I really like Bluff. I'm not blowing smoke up you too. Like Bluff know his ball, man. Bluff is a guy I respect. We have very mutual respect. I think he's a great football mind. I really do. And it was way before he started his podcast, you know, at Bluff City. He was one of the top analysts in BCS, no doubt. Like, he was somebody that would come in with great commentary from the chat. And he's a guy that I would say also kind of keep you sharp. I mean, I follow Bluff. And, you know, Bluff is a factual guy. And, you know, I think we kind of wired the same on that. Now, I want to get into something that my boy Keystone, man, got into. And this go kind of segue us into some film. And we will kind of try to break down some guys again that I think is going to sound better this time, but it's just perfect. Like my boy Keystone said, we need to sign Canoe Neal. Okay, so with that, I say let's just get into the tape and let's kind of look at, you know, what he just said and get our thoughts on it. So go ahead and break down Neal if you don't mind, OC.
Yeah, so Keenan Neal, let me locate him first real quick in terms of where he is on the field. All right,
he just slipped.
Yeah, I saw him. Okay, got it. So, I mean, I think, again, I mean, this cornerback, I mean, if you're looking at him, man, I mean, he's a guy that's okay. You know, I think he's okay. It's just that's my word for him. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's good. I think he's okay. I think from the safety position, man, he plays, you know, decent leverage. I think that, you know, again, he body
tackling right there. Yeah, that's definitely arm tackling right there. Yeah.
Yeah, body tackling. I don't like that. I want to see him really use his body and strike. I do see a level of upper body strength. He comes off an offensive lineman, right? He comes up and he's tackling high, right? And so we'll see this later on in this film where he's tackling high. So I think he needs to be a better tackler. I mean, but I think in essence he's willing to get in there. But I don't see him. I like strikers. I see him as a tackler. See him tackling right there. He's hugging him, right? Squeezing him, right? But he's not striking a guy. I want to see him strike a guy. I mean, that's really what I want to see. So I'm seeing him here. Here he is playing on the back third of the defense, right? He's adjusting deep, right, based upon audible that Tom Brady's making here. So there, he's checking out of a play. Tom Brady's checking into another play. So he's covering. Here he is right now. Boom. Okay, good job. He comes up. He's physical, but again, he draws a flag, right? He's physical here, but he draws a flag. I mean, so to me, like I said, going back to my original statement, I think he's okay. Okay, not great. I think you can do better to safety position in Boss Cowboy. I know you got some other candidates that we'll get into after this that's going to really highlight kind of what we could get versus him. I just think the guy's okay. I think that, you know, he's in the general vicinity of where he should be. I think he's going to make some good plays for you. Right here, he's going to, again, he's lunging high. He's tackling the guy. I don't see him driving through people. I want a little bit more physicality, and I want a little bit more cover skills. He's almost like a hybrid rover, Boss Cowboy, or rover, kind of like a linebacker safety type. By the way that he plays, he's not great in coverage. He's a solid tackler, but not a great tackler. So he's kind of like a hybrid type guy to me, Boss Cowboy. I don't really see him as a pure safety in terms of his footwork and his hips. His hips are tight, right? He doesn't turn and run that easy. So even when we look at him there, he's not turning and running, but he's squaring up and he's willing to come in and hit the guy. So that's a good stop. That was a good tackle.
Yeah, and so I definitely want to address Canu Neal. Right now, based on all the other safety candidates that we already looked at, it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
it's a no for me, dog. But at the same time, why you always trying to be? Why you always trying?
Hey man, look, I'm calling what I see, Boss Cowboy. I give my final opinion at the end of that film. You know how it is.
You see, I don't like Morning OC. Morning OC, nice. He come in trying to be neutral and all this kind of stuff. And the crowd is waving. They talking about, the crowd is saying Trey Boston. What's up, Buddha?
What's up, Buddha?
Yeah, so let's see if I think I got Trey Boston in here, man. If I do, we'll just recap him as well, because as free agency going on, we promised that we was going to just kind of keep everybody updated with what we've done as well as what's available. So y'all just give me 1 second, OC. Matter of fact, while we do that one, I'm gonna pull up another safety that I'm super high on, and it's sad because E. Kush came in here. It's sad when you see stuff like this. He said, I wanted Trey Boston last year. Me too, man. And the year before that. And the year before that. Because it's almost like I see Trey Boston every year and we say the same things every year. We like our guys, you know. So and then Brian, he asked a good question. He said, who is the guy you see us signing with how the Cowboys go after players? Well, one of the guys that I really want to talk about again, this is a recap of them, but I want to talk about again. I really hope they get safety right by going after my guy Josh Jones. Can you go over him real quick, man?
Yeah, Josh Jones. Now that's the kind of the guy you want. Boom, right there.
I'm gonna wind it real quick. Go ahead.
All right, number 29. All right, so here he is, good feet. He turns and he runs really, really well, and he makes a play on the football. That's what you want from the safety position. That's what you want. You want a guy that can turn and run downfield with receivers, and a guy that is a willing and able tackler. And so in this film, you're going to see this guy being a willing and able tackler. You're going to see him with the ability to turn and run. Here he is, nice run fit. Very nice tackle. He comes in. Notice he's not body tackling, right? He's sticking his nose in there. Here he is on a goal line. Look at this play. Great play by him. Good run fit. Boom. Right here. Stopping the guy, right? That running back is going backwards, not forward, right?
Right.
And so that's what you want. That's what you want. You want a guy that can tackle somebody and have an impact in the game. So here he is making an adjustment on the back end. You see good feet. And notice how he speeds up at the end. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Speeds up at the end. Now, I don't like the angle. Now, that's the knock against him, right, that I have from watching film, is that he takes some bad angles. But he has really great makeup speed, right? He closes really quickly. So if you look at the screen here, you see him, he's almost in a stride. Then he speeds up at the very last minute when he sees that guy hit the sideline. So good job by him on that. So going into the next part of the film with him, again, he bails quickly. He shows that he's covering tight. He goes out here, he accelerates again. Good. Takes a bad angle though, but accelerates again and makes the play. So angles are a coachable situation with a player like him, but the athleticism, the willingness to tackle, that's another bad angle, but he makes the tackle because he's just fast. He gets there. All right, here he is at the top, right? They're playing single high. All right, here he is. He's coming down. Here he is. He tracks. Boom. All right, gets the guy out of bounds. That was another bad angle. All right. But because of his speed and his ability to run, he's a really good athlete. Then he's going to track that guy down and make that play and knock him out of bounds. Now, if he's a little bit quicker on this, and notice the angle. If he's a little bit quicker on this, right, and he takes a better angle, that guy doesn't even get a first down. But that's a coaching technique type situation. It's not an ability situation. This is a young safety who has all the ability in the world. He can cover, he can hit, he has good ball skills. And so if you can get this guy to discount, then that's what you want. Here is great high point, right? And not even a high point, almost low point. Ball was coming down.
Low point.
Low point. But he makes a great play on that football and does a great job. So if you're talking about a safety, him versus the gentleman we first looked at, I'm going with this guy all day
long. And it's perfectly what we looking for, the bronze point. But go ahead, OC.
No, you're fine. Go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, and it's perfectly to what we looking for to bronze point. Because we do this with the Boss Cowboy Guide. Like, we're not. Like, everybody that's in the Boss Cowboy Guide, let's just be honest, they gonna have, I'm gonna just say it like this, it's gonna be something wrong with them to a degree. That meaning, because if you're trying to shop in free agency and you know how Stephen Jones shop, it's always best to try to find options that's gonna appear to have something wrong with it, but sometimes it's not. You know, those type of guys we generally call marshals, especially when they're coming from big upside. Okay, so the alleged knock on him would likely be playing time because it was his first year starting. But if that's your only knock, come on, man, that's not a knock. That's not a knock, man. That's something that, like, we should be able to greatly appreciate, you know. So as we try to solve these free agency problems, Brian, that's the whole reason why we go through the Boss Cowboy Guide, because a lot of people don't know. They always kind of look at what we signed, but they also don't look at what we missed. So what we're doing is we taking the time to go through free agency to not only look at what we've signed, but we're keeping an eye on what's out there so we can know what also we've missed. And so since we've been hearing a lot about Trey Boston, let's get into him as well. So we'll just kind of tackle some of these safeties, because it's clear, obviously, looking at the list of free agency where it is, the blinking light still sitting there as an unsigned or uncut guy. Not uncut, you know what I mean. Is Xavier Woods. So a lot of people, for good reasons, are very leery of what we're getting ready to do. You know, so that's why we're tackling safety hard again today, because he's still sitting out there. As you can see, everything else is just coming together. You know, you look at what it was, and then you look at what it is. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to look at what it was, and then we're going to look at what it is, and it's going to make us very smart. And then like Richard, man, my boy Richard's so greedy, man. My boy Richard say, "Boss, you write another book this year?" Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So so I already dropped book 2 on this off season, and we dealing with that right now. So book 3, we'll start that after the off season, and we're gonna obviously start it earlier than we did this year. But let's get into Trey Boston real quick. We've been hearing a lot of noise on Trey. Let's get into him. So looking at Trey Boston real quick, Trey Boston, we don't have the arrows on him on this highlight, but so find the guy with the hair. But what you see, go ahead.
No, go ahead, boss.
What you see with Trey is Trey can play both. He's similar to Donovan Wilson, to where you see him playing the single high. You also see him playing in the box. That's him to the left with the long hair, and you can see he reads, run, and he goes in there and he gets nasty. Okay, and but he's not like a hitter, but he's a very, very efficient tackler, and he's very subtle, and he plays multiple positions. He could also play down there in a nickel. You don't have to necessarily go into a nickel patch with Trey, because he can come down there and cover as well. But he's a very steady guy. Like, he's very, very, very durable. Like, every year you're gonna see him play around 15 to 16 games. Trey Boston was somebody that would have always made us better. As you can see, he's sinking into the flats and he comes up and make a good tackle right there. And Trey is just steady. I mean, he's always steady. And this is one of the plays that I like. And what I always look for is safeties. What do they do when that running back come right downhill, streaming through the A gap? And you go see through a lot of films that I always find a play to where this happens, because we've seen the opposite of Xavier Woods, to where when he's sitting in that same situation to where a running back is downhill screaming through that A gap, he makes the wrong move. But as you can see, Trey doesn't. He's steady. He's a steady tackler. The guys like him. His energy is always good, you know. But he's a guy that's always also at a good budget, which goes back to what Brian was saying, is who are some of the guys that would make sense to bring in that's not super top shelf, but they make us better. Can you talk about this play right here, OC?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that, I mean, when you look at him, I mean, you brought it out really excellent and how you broke this down. You're looking at a hybrid type guy, right? So Dwayne Haskins, right, throwing his football, that's why he's not starting no more, right? So, I mean, he misses the receiver. He's playing back on the corner of that sideline very, very well. He jumps up and he makes the play, man, and comes down with the football. So, again, the safeties that we like and the safeties that we're showing you, these are guys, if you notice our pattern so far, these are guys that can tackle, but they also can run in space and cover and make a play on a football, right? Those are the elements, right, that you want to see with your safeties, right? You don't want to see one extreme or the other. You want to see guys that are willing tacklers, but guys also that can locate the football, make a play on it, and that also have an opportunity to cover, right, in space, and that can flip their hips and that can run and have good feet. So those are the type of safeties that we like at Boss Cowboy Sports, that we really hope that the Cowboys, you know, eventually decide on one of these guys and bring them into the building and sign.
William Kill, early in the morning, he said, thoughts on Jay Tart from San Fran? Love him. I just haven't done a film breakdown yet. I mean, he's also one of those guys. So, like, it just, you know, this is, it's almost sad to watch, because, like, we've always had an appetite for steak, OC.
Yep.
And we keep saying
Absolutely.
on the show, we starving. And as a starving fan base, it's nothing wrong with burgers. Like what William Kill is talking about, that's a solid burger. It would whet your appetite and you would not be starving anymore.
You know, yeah, man, I think you're right, Boss Cowboy. Or, you know, we can always get that steak and egg special from the Waffle House. You know, I mean, it's not, you know, it's not the fillet that you're gonna get from, you know, the nice steakhouse, but it's a suitable filling steak, you know, that's on a lower end budget. You see what I'm saying? So hopefully we get that, Boss Cowboy. We upgrade from the hamburger and we get one of these guys in the building that can actually help us and have a chance. Remember, this is a passing league, and I'm going to keep on saying this. You got to have a guy at safety that can make a play on the football. You got to have it.
And so, like Buddha, he kind of teed it up, I would say, for our next guy I would just want to take a look at, because we're going to keep showing these guys, some of them over and over, and sometimes we're going to introduce new guys. But it is, to a degree, a lobby for some of these guys. So one of the guys I want to get into, OC, tell me what you think, is, let me see. Y'all give me 1 second. Because I got a couple of safeties I can choose from.
Yeah, just go with one, Boss Cowboy. We'll clean the rest of them up, man. There's so much out there, so yeah, don't make it hard on yourself.
Yeah, go ahead.
we can,
Yeah. Cause you know me, man. I want to just pick one, man. I want to pick the one. You know what I mean?
I understand, but man, it's so much to talk about, Boss Cowboy. We never gonna run out of content talking about this, so we go tee him up and just let him rock. Y'all rocking with us this morning. We appreciate you getting on, and hey, man, we just go keep it moving, man, and help you get up, man. Get your mind going, right? Get your energy flowing this morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then also, man, as y'all can see, y'all emojis feed right into the show. Richard is laughing right now. So man, I want to get y'all emojis this morning to what y'all feel about free agency so far. And while we doing that real quick, I also want to talk about Buddha's point when he said we need leadership in the building. And to me, that guy's Deron Harmon, man. That's the guy we need if we talking about leadership. You want to go after Deron Harmon. As you can see, he high pointed that ball and he paid for it. You know, and that's what they do well at New England. Like, if you watch New England players, you can tell that it's not an accident on how they attack the ball. That's because they're trained right, bro. Like, nobody can tell me anything differently. These guys, like, he perfectly tracked that ball. He perfectly high pointed it. Just like we was talking about Josh Jones, right? And you said that he high pointed it, but it wasn't perfect. And people take for granted how important that is, because a receiver will make a play on you. Like, if you going against, I mean, I'm reaching for names here, but to make the point, like a Dez type or a Calvin Johnson type or a Fitzgerald Younger type, those guys, a Michael Thomas type, you want to be the guy that gets the ball at his highest point, and that's what you get with Deron Harmon. And he's a vet. He's a Super Bowl winner. So he comes in and he's a guy that can easily teach the young guys. And he's a dog, a sure solid tackle. As you can see, he makes a great tackle on the tight end, open field. And I'm getting it from the crowd, like everybody talking about it from the crowd. Like Pastor Douglas said, I love Herman, will be an immediate upgrade. Me too. And like on this play right here, you can see he accelerates, you know, and it's a lot left in the tank with him. So it's guys that we really can go out there and get right now that will make our safety room better. And like I say, on all my films in safety, you go see me show what they do when they sitting in this situation with a running back screaming right in their face, like here. And what does he do? Solid open field tackle that we've seen Xavier Woods miss over and over and over and over again. And this is also one of the main reasons I like him, because to Buddha's point, he's a leader, but also he's fearless. And you'll see him always come down to the box with horrible, evil intentions. Not just bad intentions, horrible, evil, destructive, dog intentions. So as you can see, the running back beats the blocks and he pays for it. He don't just come up there to like a tackle to put him on the ground. He coming in to throw his head in the ground, you know, and that's the type of guy it would basically be two Donovan Wilsons back there. You telling me that don't make our defense better? You telling me that don't make our defense better? And then absolutely. I just want to get to one part real quick that I love about him. I just want to get to this part right here. And this is always the ultimate test of me, OC, is what do you do when you stirring courage in the face? That's what you do. You know, that's what you do. So, I mean, it's a lot of safety candidates out there. We just kind of scratching the surface on a few of them this morning. But yeah, so yeah, it's some candidates out there that look real good for the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to continue to just kind of open these guys up. Let me see what the people saying in the chat box real quick. Did you have anything on that, though, OC?
No, I think that, I mean, he's definitely a player that can come in and make an impact and a difference. You know, it's just about are the Cowboys willing to make the commitment, and with the new coaching staff and the new defensive coordinator, do they have the wherewithal and the vision to put the right people in the building versus what we've been used to seeing in terms of keeping who we like and favoring the guys that are closest to us versus guys that can lead and perform. That's the question. And I think a lot of this will wash out, you know, going into the draft and going into the summer. We'll see where the head and the heart is of the coaching staff as it relates to personnel decisions and the type of people that they want in the building, and that's what you want to see. And I'm hopefully that it's going to be an upgrade, and it's going to be more aggressive and more succinct in terms of the type of people that will help us win football games. That's what I hope we see, Boss Cowboy.
Yeah, and I want to take one of these comments real quick, OC, that I think kind of hit it out the park. So my boy Javon Brooks, man, I would say definitely Javon is one of the biggest fighters for the truth in the Cowboy fan base. He's also a guy that's a factual guy, and he stays armed with all kind of factual stuff. So I definitely want to take his comment. He said, just don't think the organization is going to sign real dogs at DT nor defensive back. I want to just say real quick, let's just be patient this week one. And like just historically, we've made our biggest moves week 2, week 3, week 4. That's really when Dallas makes their biggest move, because that's when we got Cobb, Quinn, all those guys really were week 2 guys, week 3 guys. Like week 1, I think they're letting it settle. I honestly do. I think the guys that's getting signed are the people. This is almost like going into a store, right, and you know that they on sale. The first thing people do is they rush to the stuff that they really want. But then as you see that they in there, those same crowds that was beating down the door to get in there, you start seeing them walking around and really shopping. You see what I'm saying? Like go to a place, if it's like a liquidate sale, or a Black Friday sale, everybody just running in there, let's get it. But after they clear off the racks, they slow down and start shopping. So it does feel bad right now. Let's just be all the way honest. It doesn't feel like with the holes that we had on defense that we're filling them. It doesn't feel like we're prepared for BPA at all. But let's just kind of wait it out. We still walked into free agency. I'm gonna just kind of show the position we were sitting before free agency started. Let me just show the money real quick, OC, as you can kind of talk about. But if you look at the money, this is where everybody was sitting, right?
Yep.
So you can see basically why certain teams are making more moves. Like New England made a lot of moves because you can see their cap space, right? But then you see a lot of other teams that doesn't have the room, so they're not going to be able to make the acquisition. So we're getting ready to see it slow down. We're also going to see cuts. We're going to see a lot of stuff that's going to continue to happen, where I would say there's a chance, the word's a chance. You got anything on that, OC?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that you want to notice about cap space. If you look at this chart, you notice the top third of those teams that are on there, those are some of the worst teams in the league. Right? They got the most cap space. They made some of the worst decisions, and they got the most money to spend. Jacksonville, the New York Jets, the Colts, the Patriots were bad this year. The Broncos weren't good this year. Cincinnati was okay this year. But the top third of that list are all bad teams. And so if you get into more of a quality type franchise, and I would say that Dallas picked it up the second half of the year. They're a quality franchise. They had a losing record this year. They didn't make the playoffs. That's all true. But, based upon some of the pieces they already have, they have to be discreet in terms of the moves that they make. And I think as a fan base, to your point, Boss Cowboy, we need to be a little bit patient to see how this thing pans out, because regardless of whoever they go with in free agency, they have to get value. Right? They have to get value. We want performance mixed with value. And so that's why we're going through all this film and showing you all the free agents available, because we believe you can get great performance with these guys and still have value and work with that cap money that's there.
Yeah, and the only exception to one of the top teams is the Colts. But to your point, overall, you're right. It's most of those teams sitting at the top are bad. It's a few like that stand out anomalies like the Colts. But the rest of them are bad, to your point. And it also goes into when we had Alex Sherman. Hopefully I was here when he came on the show, and as a CNBC analyst, he explained where the sweet spot was for free agency this year. He said the sweet spot is going to be your older players, right, who's going to be looking for contenders. He said because of the cap, and basically I call it a COVID cap, your teams that's sitting at the bottom are going to have to do more stretching, you would say, right? And they're not going to want good players, because then it's going to hurt their cap and they can't stretch the money with longer term contracts on older players. So he was saying it makes it unique this year to where you really want to wait until week 2, week 3, honestly, because then there are going to be some value guys sitting out there that's humbled. So it is honestly just too early to panic, just to be all the way honest. It's just too early. Now it does feel nasty. And I thought about it more, OC. I just thought about it more this morning as I was taking a shower. One thing I thought about that we're putting competition. It don't sound right when I say this, but I'm gonna just be honest when I say it. We building B team depth and competition. That's what we're doing. We're building B team depth and competition. Now, is it sexy? Hell no. No. No, it's ugly. Right. But Basham comes in and he instantly pushes Armstrong. Instantly, right? So then we also have Brent comes in and he pushes Woods as a run stopper, rotational run stopper, and the only pick that I really scratched my head at, because I'm just being honest, his film say he's stealing money, and that's Carlos Watkins. That was the worst, period. And we all saw the film yesterday. It was bad. Like, I was in tears laughing. Oh my God, I still want to cry laughing when we talk about his production. But that's the only super head scratcher to where I would definitely say they went into the cheap seats to get him. But other than that, I can see what they're doing. It's like we took week 1, we saw we had a chance to kind of build some competition at the number 2 spots, and we're doing that. Now let's see if week 2, week 3, they might go for some deal type starters. Right. Like we talked about yesterday, we're not gonna go into them too much, but like we talked about True Fun. We're not going to go into it too heavy, but he's the type that Alex Sherman was talking about. He's the type that's going to also be in the book, where he's 30. He's coming off injury. He was cut, just like Alex Sherman was said. He's going to sit around a while. He's going to have to fly around and beg a little bit, because a lot of teams, because of his age, will say, well, True Fun, we don't want to pay you a long-term contract. You 30. So it's going to humble him likely, and then it's going to create an opportunity. It's going to create a clear opportunity for the Cowboys, just an example. Another guy that's going to probably be a deal that we could talk about real quick is Kenny Vaccaro. Let's go through his tape real quick, OC.
Yeah, Vaccaro is, listen, he's an interesting guy. I think that Vaccaro is one of those guys that, are vintage, I would say Tennessee Titan type player, right? Physical at the point, sound fundamentally. And so that's kind of what he represents to me. He's going to be physical at the point of attack, and he's going to be overall sound fundamentally. So, if you look at him on this play, you're going to see him in on this tackle. He's coming up. He's getting off blocks to actually make plays. So I like him a lot. Playing at the safety position, I think that he brings an element of physicality and an element of just soundness, right? And that wasn't the perfect angle, right? Again, but he's a sound guy. He's not impressive athletically, but he's physical. He's gonna make solid tackles to me, and he's go overall be in the right position in terms of where he needs to be. So we can look at him here again. If you kind of look at him, he's not quite as quick and fluid as a Trufant and as some of the other safeties that we looked at, but he's a solid guy. He's hanging on for dear life, though. He bounced off that tackle. All right, so here he is again. Let's take a quick look at him up top. So, and again, this is against, what you go see, a lot of run action, right? And here he is. Okay, very good. Hey, he got down on his leg. He made the stop, right? I like to see him keep his eyes up on that. But hey, he made the stop, and again, he is trying to tackle Lamar Jackson in open field, which is no easy task, by the way. That's one of the hardest men to tackle in the league, especially when he gets to the second level.
And he tackled him.
Yep. So here he is again, running up. He's looking for work, looking for work. Okay, he gets in on that tackle. Again, looking for work. So hey, I mean, overall, man, like I say, solid guy. Not as athletic though, boss, as some of the other guys that we've
No,
seen. Yeah,
he doesn't
not as
pop
fluid.
athletically. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have that free look to him. Like Donovan would definitely get more act at free if we got him for sure.
Yeah,
I
for
want to
sure.
take this comment real quick from Marcus. He said they must be watching Watkins Clemson tape and translated him as a 4-3 DT. His college tape showed him pushing the pocket often.
Yeah, Marcus, I thought about that a lot. Okay, and that's a great comment because he was a 3-4 defensive end primarily for the Texans, right? And so he's coming over here into a 4-3 where he's going to be a 3 technique. The problem with that is that the 3-4 defensive end does play over the guard and in between the tackle sometimes, right? Which will be the exact same position he will play in the 4-3. I did not see the penetration, the pop, and more importantly, the hustle from the 3 technique position that I think will be necessary for him to be really, really effective here in a 4-3. I saw a guy that could take on blocks and for the most part hold his ground. Now, on a couple plays that we didn't show Marcus, he ended up getting flipped over, okay? We didn't even show those plays, right? But I don't see him being devastating enough at the point of attack to be able to shed blocks and make plays in the backfield on a consistent basis. I see him as a guy that's going to hold his ground at best and really just help you not to. He's a guy that's not going to be pushed into the linebacker's lap, right? And so is Urban, right? Those are 2 guys that are going to try to fight, and they're not going to get pushed in the linebacker's lap. But is he a playmaker, penetrating? Is he anything close to what he was at Clemson? Absolutely not, because the strength and the quickness level of pro linemen are so much different than a college level offensive lineman. And so you see the difference in his effectiveness from when he was at Clemson to his first 4 years in the NFL. And that's what I think about him, Marcus.
Gotcha. So, I would say this: out of all the signings that happened, this is the one that I'm keeping my own. The left tackle swing position. That's the one that kind of gave me the biggest pause before we get out of here, because the OC got to go, and I got some things to do this morning as well. But this is the thing that this signing right here, like a lot of people were jumping on my Twitter and jumping into like Facebook, my Facebook page, and boss, he's depth, boss, he's depth. He's depth. We lost Cam and we signed him. I said, I don't think people seeing it right, because obviously I wrote a book on this, so I know that he's depth. Okay, we know that, but it's one of those situations to where, like I said before, when you already was going into the season where Steele was playing pretty good towards the last 7 to 8 games, and if you look at the fact that Knight also going into year 3 played pretty decent, they both played at a swing level, and every season we pretty much just ask yourself, when we went through the draft last year, did we account for swing? No. That's why we got Steele as an undrafted free agent. We thought we were good with just having 2. So we going into a season with 3, and I'm telling y'all keep y'all eyes on what could be going on behind the scenes with Tyron and Liel. And I'm not saying that but it's something to watch. It's a whisper that you say, that one was kind of sneaky. It says to me that they have some concern. That don't mean that Tyron is injured. That don't mean Liel is never going to play again. But that tells me that there's a doctor's report likely somewhere where there's a percentage of that neck or something where they was like, we need to cover those odds. I'm telling y'all. And a lot of people over here, oh, boss, it's just depth. Oh, you just being paranoid. It's like, go look at the last. Even when we was going into the season in 2017, we went into the season with Chaz Green and Bell.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I think his signing has to speak more so to a question about Liel, because there's no way this guy has the feet to play left tackle, okay? And I don't think personally Liel really would excel as much at left tackle, because he's a power, stud of a guy, but he doesn't have the footwork and the fluency, right, to stay up against elite speed rushers that you would see at the left tackle position. So to me, Boss Cowboy, this says, to your point, they're coming up with some type of back end insurances, because it makes me think, is Liel okay? Is something going on with Liel?
It just makes you question.
Yeah, it makes you think that, because you're not flopping Liel from right to left if something is wrong with Tyron. So to me, this has to be specific to the right tackle position, and you don't sure if it's getting stronger or better. That started so many games for us this year, right? So yeah, it's something there, boss. Something there.
Yeah, man. So I don't want to hold us too long, and y'all tell us in the comments what y'all think about the morning show. This is something that we're considering doing, a morning show about the Cowboys. It'll be an exclusive spot that's only kind of for us. It'll also allow us to do research later to come out with more better content in the morning. So y'all get out a thought. We getting ready to check out of here, but make sure y'all continue to like, share, and subscribe. Boss Cowboy Sports. We got another generous OC. We got another generous Cash App. So let's kind of talk about ways to support us. So definitely you can follow us at Boss Cowboy Sports, and we want y'all to do that. Just remember, Twitter is a little bit backwards. It's Cowboy_Boss is the handle, and Twitter is popping very much so. Instagram is ramping up. YouTube is up majorly. Like, don't look at the views and don't look at the subscribes only. Look at, we just started YouTube and we already up to 260. We just started. So we on an amazing pace when it comes down to our growth there. And so we obviously always appreciate your support and the generous donations. We will, I promise you, have a Patreon popping. The only reason it's not popping right now is because we chose to get that phone line this weekend, but because by this evening we want to be taking calls from you. Okay, we go just do some tests today, but after that we taking calls. Did you have any final words, OC?
No, man, to continue to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Share with your friends and your family and across all your pages. You guys are critical to our growth. We go continue to chime in and give you tons of content, and it's more and more and more that'll be coming. And we're excited about the Insiders. We'll launch that here in the next week or so. And y'all stay up.
Y'all definitely stay up, man.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.